Hello YouTube, this is GeekyAustin, and I had just seen the new Marvel Studios film, Spider-Man Homecoming. All that I can say is that I had a great time watching this movie. I went into this movie with a bit of an open mind because I wasn't sure how it was going to be with them changing up the style, the setting, and everything from what we originally see with Spider-Man, but I was very pleased with this. The characters were good, the acting was great, the special effects were great, the setting was actually really good, and it was actually funny. I found myself actually enjoying it. The high school setting of this film was actually really good. The main villain, Vulture, he was really good as well. So yeah, overall, I actually enjoyed this. The main lead, Tom Holland, who plays Peter Parker and Spider-Man in this film, he was terrific. All I can say is that this kid deserves an award. This was a great performance from him. He showed all the charm, the wittiness, and everything that you expect to see from Spider-Man. But also, being portrayed as a kid, he also showed in a lot more depth than what the normal Spider-Men that are more adult could show. Because he still had all the things you'd expect from a kid in high school. He had his problems, his emotional problems, trying to get to class on time, you know, all the stuff that kids at that age go through. So because of that, not only to give it more depth, it gave more character, and it gave a lot more grit and a lot more energy. And the main villain, the Vulture, was played by Michael Keaton, and once again, Michael Keaton has shown that he can really do a good job with a superhero movie. This time, though, playing a villain. Michael Keaton did a great job. His character was really good. While in the suit, he looked intimidating and awesome. And he honestly pulled off everything that you would want from a villain in a Spider-Man movie. Laura Harrier plays Peter Parker's love interest, Liz, and the chemistry between those two was really good. And it felt believable. And Jacob Batalon plays Ned, Peter Parker's close friend. And because of finding out about his identity, it just added more to the comedy throughout the whole film. The chemistry between these two friends is really good, and it does give its way into some really good comedy and silliness between these two characters and the schoolmates that are around them, their surroundings. It was really good. It was well done. And of course, Robert Downey Jr. was in this as Iron Man, Tony Stark. And in the movie, he's pretty much portrayed as a father figure to Peter Parker, which, once again, that was actually not too bad because Peter is all alone with just Aunt May, so it is really nice to see the character have a bit of a father figure watching over him, along with also his driver and his bodyguard, Mr. Happy. It was really nice to see the bit of a relationship that was going on between all these characters. And also Marisa Tomei, who plays Aunt May in this. Even though she didn't have a whole lot of screen time, her presence there was good, and she still did a good job with her few scenes. Once again, just like it was with Liz, you can believe the relationship between the two characters. You can see the motherly love that Aunt May has towards Peter in this. And it does show that she really does care for how he is becoming. Because, after all, this being a teenage film, it's understandable for a parent to be concerned about their child during the teenage age, and it's done very well in this. I did like it. And the special effects in this were good. The new suit for Spider-Man was actually really fun to watch, and even though the suit was not made by Parker, instead it was done by Stark, it was still really good. It was fun. The computer that's inside the Spider-Man suit, Karen, that was really different, something I never saw before, but I did actually kind of like it. It did lead to a couple of funny moments. It's a different change, but I welcome it. It wasn't that bad. And even though it didn't have such a huge presence in the movie as I thought, Parker's homemade Spider-Man suit, I actually liked the way it looked. Honestly, when I saw the trailer, I wasn't that particularly excited about it, but it's not in the movie the whole lot. It's in just isn't just a little bit part of it, but for the part of it that was in, I actually did like it. The look of the suit has actually grown on me. And pretty much about the only other thing about it again that I really liked was, of course, like I said, the technology in the film. It was really good. It was actually quite interesting to see a different take on how we can take our comic book villains and try to make them feel more realistic. This time by giving them the technology from a previous Avengers film and taking it and making it into your own, which is how Vulture got all of his weapons, his wings for his suit. I actually did like it a lot more. I think doing this here works out a lot better than just having Vulture literally be a person with wings. So I do like the approach they went with this. And pretty much the only downside to this though, which is like, this is like the only thing with the movie that I feel they could have done better, but it's nitpicking at this point. It's just nitpicking because it's very minor. Vulture's accomplices in this movie, the Shocker, 2 people play the Shocker in this, and honestly, I feel that they could have done just a bit more with the Shocker in this. Because pretty much all the Shocker is in this movie is a guy with some sort of attachment on their arm that can deliver a shocking blow when they punch something. That's about all it was in this movie. It would have been nice if nothing else they could have given the guy who's a Shocker an actual suit that somewhat resembled the way he looks in the show and the comic books and everything. But as I stated, it's really minor. It didn't bother me that bad. And the only thing I can see from this movie that might upset some people, the high school setting, even though I enjoyed it, some may not enjoy it. Most people definitely want their adaptations of stuff they love to be as accurate as possible. And this movie is definitely not that. This is a definite fresh look on Spider-Man. Most of the characters are different, of course. MJ is not in this. Not really, that is. Of course, it's in a high school setting, while if I recall from the comic book, I think it was more of a college or university. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. I have not read the Spider-Man comic book in a long time. And of course, some may not find the high school comedy thing to be really fitting for Spider-Man. But again, that's just another person's opinion. But for me, I loved it. Overall, there is not really anything with this movie that I really hated. There was nothing that just made me upset or disappointed. Everything in it was good. Again, the characters were good, the acting was good, the special effects were good, the setting, it was different, but I enjoyed it. And the main villains and the technology that was in this film, it was good. Yeah, without a doubt. This movie, to me, is pretty much perfect. And again, even though I stated that the Shocker could have been better, it's just me being nitpicky. That's all it is. So overall, without a doubt, I would give this film a 5 out of 5 or an A+. Definitely go see this, and try to go see this movie with an open mind. Don't go into this movie thinking of the Spider-Man comics or the Sam Raimi movies or even the ones with Andrew Garfield. Don't go into this movie thinking about all the other material out there of Spider-Man. Go into this with an open mind, and without a doubt, I bet you would enjoy this movie. And with Marvel Studios most definitely probably going to do a sequel, all I can say is keep up the good work. If you keep going with this setting that you've got here, I bet that all the new Spider-Man films that will come out will be just as good. And thank you guys so much for listening. This has been Geeky Austin.